Good evening and welcome to Athens City Council. It's Monday, October 4th at 7 p.m. We're in regular session tonight, so we'll have our full business meeting, and then shortly after that, we will adjourn for an executive session. And we will allow time for Professor Sudis's students to be able to ask questions immediately after the business meeting. So, welcome. Our first item of business is to establish a quorum, and all members of council are present tonight. Next item of business is disposition of the minutes for the regular session held on September 20th, 2021.
So moved.
A motion for approval, and do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The minutes have been approved. Next item is communications. I have two items tonight. One is a notice from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. And this is for an application for a permit for a restaurant called Boozy Bubbles LLC, 18 South Court Street. They have applied for a D3 liquor license, which would allow them to serve until 1 a.m. And if council would want to make comment on this, we would need to send responses by October 25th, 2021. The other request or piece of communication is about what seems to be perhaps an increase in the graffiti around the city. We've had some problems with it, and we've been doing our best to cover that up. We have a request for the public. We do have a software program called C-Click Fix. It's a downloadable app on your phone, and it makes it wonderful to report those kind of items. But right now, we need a little bit more immediate kind of response when people see graffiti, much less. The only way for us to move forward with it really is to try and see it when it's happening. And so we're asking people if they do see graffiti and especially if they see somebody doing that, to report to the police department immediately. The dispatch number is 740-592-3313. And so that would be very helpful to the police and to the city administration as we're trying to get a little bit better control in that situation with the graffiti. So thank you. Are there communications from other council members tonight? Any? Okay, if no items, then we'll move on to reports and communications from other elected officials. Law Director Eliason. Okay, and I don't see, Auditor Hecht, you're here. Do you have no report? Okay, thank you. And Mayor Patterson.
Thank you, President Nisley. A few things for council tonight. As council is aware, we have 4 viral load testing sites in the city of Athens to where we're able to monitor our sewage for gene pairs for the coronavirus. One of them is at the wastewater treatment plant. The other 3, which are recent additions, when I say recent, they went live in August here in Athens, and we received a CBG coronavirus grant to get those, as council has authorized me to do that. And those are at the Richland Avenue roundabout, at the Depot lift station, the lift station, not the roundabout, rather, not at the roundabout. And then the third one is, we call it the library sampling site. It is really on Home Street. And just to remind everyone that coronavirus is still out there and thriving. And I just share this with you in that the most recent sampling analysis came out, I think I received it last Friday, which gives us a 4 to 7 day look ahead as to what we could expect in terms of cases. And one of the 3 did show a significant increase, and it was at the Depot lift station, which is representative of the west side of the city. The sample before that, everything else seemed to be kind of leveling off except for the library lift station. It showed a significant rise as well. So I just want council and the viewing audience to know that we're constantly monitoring those to look to see, and if we feel that they are truly excessive spikes and increases, we will certainly alert those neighborhoods to take extra precautions in your neighborhoods, because that means that it's coming from that quadrant of the city. So let me Unfortunately, starting with the bad news, now onto the good news, items to share with council. We have finally got the green paint for the EV charging stations in the parking garage. The floor deck has been painted, and then we'll go and put the white markings to delineate the stalls, the parking stalls up there. So finally, been waiting quite a while for that, but that's positive, that's moving forward. Another update for council is that myself, City Planner Paul Logue, and the Service Safety Director Andy Stone, who's sitting right next to me, we have been engaging with the Reimagine Appalachia and the Marshall Plan for Middle America. And we brought forward early on to this group, when I say early on, about 3 months ago, we were working with them because they were looking for projects to where collectively this group can come together and kind of help brainstorm some possibilities for environmental projects or alternative energy projects. What we brought forward was the Hocking River and the problems that we have with safety by the White Mill Falls, where as everyone is well aware, where the dam failed in the mid-1970s after the rerouting of the Hocking River. So it's been a really interesting process to go through with this group, to where today we had Ken Woodward, who's the chief for the Huntington District of the Corps of Engineers. We're in the Huntington District, and that was wonderful to see Mr. Woodward involved in that process as well. I received a nice letter from Levi Ratchik, who is the campus rabbi at the Shabbat Student Center at Ohio University. And it was basically a letter thanking the city for being helpful in getting the sukkah up on Court Street, which some of you may have noticed that the tent was out on Court Street. So it's just a thank you letter for making that a reality. And the final update I have for council, and bear with me, council, because I'm going to read this to you. This is extremely important. This is from the State of Ohio proclamation. As a result of the federal census of 2020, for the state of Ohio and various political subdivisions having been officially made known to me, I, Frank LaRose, Secretary of State for the state of Ohio, comply with the provisions in section 703.06 of the revised code for the state of Ohio, do hereby proclaim that the municipality of Athens in Athens County, according to said federal census of 2020, has a population of 23,849 and shall, from and after 30 days from date of the proclamation, be known as a city by virtue and in accordance with section 703.06 of the Ohio Revised Code. So it's official. We have grown by a grand total of 17 people since 2010. As I understand it, the chief elected administrator for a municipality can, if we feel we have grounds to do so, challenge that through the count question resolution process with the Census Bureau. I'm sure I'll have a lot of conversations with President Nisley as we explore whether we should or we shouldn't, given that we did grow by a grand total of 17 people. But I would contend that the coronavirus did throw a serious wrench in the process of getting the full count, because as council may or may not be aware that our population by estimated growth in 2019 was 24,840 plus people in the city of Athens. So we'll continue to see whether or not it would be in our best interest to put forward a challenge with the census count. But at this point, we did grow. That's all I have, President Nisley.
Thank you. All right. We'll move on to ordinances for third reading. We have one tonight. This is 121. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to hire a director of arts, parks, and recreation at a pay rate of 34% through the assigned pay grade, and is introduced by Councilmember Crowell.
Thank you, President Isley. I'd like to make a motion to adopt 0121.
Second.
Thank you, Member Fall. This is as discussed at committee and at the first two readings. Approving the mayor's ability to hire his choice for the new director of Arts, Parks, and Recreation at a slightly higher rate than he can do on his own. So he can do 25%, and we are approving 34% through the assigned pay grade. Thank you, President Isley.
Okay. And comments and discussion, Councilmember Smedley.
Thank you, President Isley. I appreciate the additional information that was provided to council last week or 2 weeks ago. Was just curious if there was any additional information that administration would like to provide that would give us some context for the reasoning for this particular request.
Other than what I have provided to council when I came to council and asked the first time, which was basically the candidate countered and was asking for more than I am authorized to pay the individual. And I believe, as you have the full curriculum vitae for that individual, hopefully recognize that this individual is immensely qualified for this position and is worthy of a pay increase of $2,000 a year more than what I am authorized to pay at that 34%. Council has the authority to go from 25.1% up to 50%. So this is asking to go 11% further into the pay grade, 9% than I am authorized to provide.
And just one additional comment. I will say the person sounds like a great fit, and I think my main concern is the financial struggles that this particular department has and how much we've had to move into this department to cover things such as payroll. So that would be one consideration as I make my vote tonight. Thank you.
Yes, Mayor Patterson.
There will be, there already is a savings in hiring this person on because this person will be coming in, much less than the former director was when we brought the former director on.
Councilmember Ziff, you had a comment?
Thank you, President Isley. I just wanted to follow up. I had made comments a few weeks ago when we first talked, or for the second reading of this, saying that I personally had some reservations about the candidate just not having that strong of an arts background in an arts, park, and recreation department. That being said, I really appreciated all the information that you forwarded to us, administrators. And I think they are absolutely very, very well qualified to be running this department. I think they stated themselves that they're going to have to play some catch up and have to work on the world of arts, but it's hard to find the exact perfect, in a perfect world candidate anywhere in the world for any kind of reasonable amount of money. So I think I wish them the best. I think they're going to do a really great job, and I appreciate you finding a strong candidate for us. So, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from council members, administration? Any comments or questions from the audience? Or Auditor Hecht? Okay. All right. Seeing none, we'll have the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, the motion carries 6-1. Thank you. And the ordinance is approved. Ordinance is now for second reading. I will read the title, and I don't believe that there are any suspensions tonight. I'll read the title, pause briefly, see if there are any comments or questions, and then I'll move on to the reading of the next ones. The first one is Ordinance 10121. This is an ordinance amending the 2021 appropriation ordinance introduced by Councilmember Crowell. Any comments or questions? If none, the next one is Ordinance 10221. This is an ordinance amending Ordinance 8020, Athens City Code Title I, General Provisions, Chapter 1.03, Code Fees Established, Solid Waste Recycling and Optional Composting Rates, and declaring an emergency. And this is introduced by all members of council. If no comments or questions, we'll move on. Okay. To 10321. This is an ordinance amending Ordinance 8821, authorizing the 2021 Street Paving and Repairs Project, which is project number 337, introduced by Councilmember Reisner.
President Isley.
Yes, Mayor, oh,
I do have a
Director
comment
Stone,
on this
yes,
one.
yes.
President Isley, I may, and this is just a fair warning, that council may come back on third reading on this particular ordinance and seek an amendment. If you remember, this particular ordinance added project number 341 to Ordinance 8821, which basically differentiated between annual paving, 337, for the various streets in the city with work that's happening at the West 8th Street Park. Some of the costs are coming in a little bit clearer focus on that, and I may not, but I may need an additional appropriation, in which case, rather than go and do it as a separate standalone ordinance, I would seek to amend this one.
Amend it,
At third
okay.
reading, and I understand that, you know, the process, if that has to
Okay,
happen.
but we would have had a total of 3 readings by the time it gets there, so the public would have had time
Yes, ma'am.
to review and comment. Thank you. Thanks for the update. Appreciate that. 10521 is our next one. This is an ordinance amending Ordinance 9321, the 2021 appropriation ordinance, and authorizing the auditor to make an interfund transfer. And this is introduced by Councilmember Crowell. And if no comments or questions, we'll move on to 10621. This is an ordinance granting a special right-of-way use permit to Nathan Rath, owner at 333 East State Street, to place a sign on an existing sign pole, introduced by Councilmember Fall. And if no comments or questions, we'll now move on to Ordinance 10721, an ordinance granting a special right-of-way use permit to James Cody, owner at 21 West Washington Street, to place an awning over a garage door, and that's introduced by Councilmember Fall. If no questions or comments, we'll move on to ordinances for first reading. 10821 is an ordinance authorizing the disposal of a mower in the Recreation Department, no longer needed for a municipal purpose. And this is introduced by Councilmember Grace.
Thank you, President Isley. And this ordinance does exactly what it says. It authorizes the Service Safety Director and the City Administration to dispose of a mower that the Recreation Department no longer needs. And the disposal is going to happen via trade-in. And this is a zero-turn mower that was purchased several years ago, and it has well past its useful life.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, none. 10921 is our next ordinance, and this authorizes the Service Safety Director to enter into a master equity lease agreement, amendment to said agreement, a maintenance agreement, and a government credit application with Enterprise Fleet Management. And this is introduced by Councilmember Crowell.
Thank you, President Isley. The title of this ordinance says it all. And we had a presentation from Enterprise Fleet Management talking about the flexibility and the changes that entering into this agreement would bring to the city. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. And council members have been provided, and as has also been posted onto the website, the full agreement, the ordinance, and all the agreements. So, yes. Any questions or comments? Council members, if
Thank you, President Isley. I just wanted to thank City Administration for putting this project together. I know a lot of work went into sorting out all these details, and I think based on the presentation we had from them and all the information you provided us, it seems like a really, really great step for us to take with our fleet vehicles, with a potential in big cost savings and energy efficiency and the possibility of having a more green fleet. So I just wanted to thank you again for putting in the time on this.
okay. Thank you. If no other comments, we'll move on to Ordinance 110. This is an ordinance amending the 2021 appropriation ordinance and authorizing the auditor to make interfund transfers. And this is introduced by Councilmember Crowell.
Thank you, President Isley. I'll go ahead and read Section 1 of this ordinance. The 2021 Appropriation Ordinance 14020 is hereby amended by appropriating from the unappropriated balance the following sums. $150,000 to American Rescue Plan Act Fund 286 for transfer. $150,000 to American Rescue Plan Act Fund for transfer. $35,000 to the American Rescue Plan Act Fund as per Ordinance 8621 to create a remote work system. $90,000 to the general fund as per our earlier ordinance of 7821 for the City of Athens 2021 Outdoor Recreation Council of Appalachia membership dues. $13,750 to the Court Community Corrections Fund for a refund to the state of Ohio. Council asked for additional information when this was presented at committee, and that was sent to all council. $2,800 to the Parking Garage Fund for meter replacement. Thank you, President Isley.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Crowell. And do we have any comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to Ordinance 11121. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into or to extend the agreement of the Board of Athens County Commissioners for the purpose of obtaining the services of the Public Defender's Office through December 31st, 2022. Introduced by Councilmember Crowell.
Thank you, President Isley. Besides the information in the title, Section 2 reads, "The mayor is hereby authorized to expend up to $55,000 from the 2022 General Fund 101-106 for this contract." And I will remind council and the public that we received the good news that the state of Ohio is covering 96% of this contract. So we will see some savings from what we usually have to spend for this agreement with the Athens County Commissioners. Thank you, President Isley.
Good. Thanks, Councilmember Crowell. Ordinance 1, and if no comments or questions. Okay, we'll move on to Ordinance 11221. This is an ordinance providing for the issuance of $400,000 of notes by the City of Athens, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of renewing notes previously issued, for the purpose of paying part of the cost of acquiring a new fire truck and related equipment, and declaring an emergency. Introduced by Councilmember Crowell.
Thank you, President Isley. This is the way that we pay for new shiny toys in the City of Athens, including our fire trucks, and this is a bit of bookkeeping in order to reissue these notes for this fire truck. Thank you, President Isley.
Okay. Councilmember Reisner.
I'd like to ask the administration, how much are we going to pay on the outstanding note now?
I think this body already passed that information at a previous session. It was $100,000 this year, of which $50,000 will be provided by Ohio University and $50,000 by the City of Athens, paying down on the note. And this is the reissuance of the note after that was done.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you. We'll now move on to announcements and other business. And we will be having a committee meeting next week. And so any committee chairpersons who have agenda items, or if administration does that they need to bring forward, such as the amendment that Director Stone mentioned earlier, if we could have that information by Wednesday, that would be helpful, so we can get it published in time. The other item of business is confirmation of the mayor's appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and Councilmember Fall has this information.
Thank you. There's a couple of vacancies on the Board of Zoning Appeals. This is a board that the mayor appoints to, and the city council passes their judgment on it. They would like to put Kelly Sauber, who is co-owner of Dancing Trees Distilleries, into one of the permanent positions. Rob Delac, who is here actually tonight, who has a lot of experience and stuff, will also be moved up from his alternate position to a full position, and then Ben Lockman will take that alternate position. They're all very, very well qualified for the work that they have to do on this particular board, and I think that this particular board has some of the largest challenges, and thank you very much to all of the people who will be doing this. I move that we accept the candidates as presented.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for approval of the 3 appointees to the Board of Zoning Appeals. All those in favor? Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Just that this is an exceptional 3 individuals in our community, and I very much thank all the volunteers who serve in this capacity, because you do make the city a better place by your contributions. So thank you in advance.
Right. And thanks, Mayor, for getting all the information and the resumes, so we're well-versed on their background, too, and it helps us. Yeah, but thank you. All right, any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Thank you for your service, Mr. DeLocke and others, Mr. Sauber and Mr. Lockman. We'll look forward to working with you. Last item before we go into executive session is an opportunity for citizens to speak on legislative items and city services that were not covered on the agenda tonight. Is there anybody present tonight who wishes to make any comments or a brief presentation? You have up to 3 minutes if you would want to present. Seeing none, we will move into executive session. What we'll do very briefly, just to explain it, and some of you have likely seen this before. I know Professor Suddes has been through it many times before. We do a motion to go into executive session, and we explain the purpose for which we're going into executive session, and we do a roll call vote. And immediately after we do that, we will break for 15 minutes to allow the students time for questions, and then we will shut the doors. After the executive session is over and adjourned, we do open the doors back open, so if there's anybody from the public or who has additional questions and wants to speak with us, they may do that. And then we formally adjourn at the end of the evening. So, if I could have a motion for going into executive session.
I'd like to make a motion that we enter into executive session with all members of council, law director, mayor, service safety director, and for the purposes of discussing collective bargaining.
Okay, and the auditor?
The auditor,
too?
yes. You're hiding back there, auditor.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so Christopher seconded. Okay, and for roll call,
Aye.
Councilmember Smedley?
Sorry. Aye.
Reisner?
Aye.
Crowell?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Grace?
Aye.
Ziff?
Aye.
McCary?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. It is, I have on my, on that clock there that it's 7:29, so let's say it's 7:30. At 7:45, we will close the doors. So students, you have until 7:45 to talk with people.